Hello, welcome to Short Story Scene. I'm your host, the storyteller, and here we have a tale called Father Riley's Horse by Banjo Paterson. 'Twas a horse thief, Randy Reagan, that was hunted like a dog by the troops of the Upper Murray side. They had searched in every gully. They had looked in every log, but they never saw a track of him they spied. Till the priest of Kiley's Crossing heard the knocking very late, and the whispered Father Riley come across. So his reverence in the pajamas trotted softly to the gate, and admitted Andy Reagan and a horse. Now it's listen, Father Riley, to the words I've got to say, for it's close upon my death I am tonight. While the troops are there behind me, I've been hiding all the day, and the gullies keeping close and out of sight. But they're watching all the ranges till they are not the bird could fly, and they're fairly worn to pieces with the strife. So I'm taking no more trouble. I'm going home to die. 'Tis the only way I see to save my life. Yes, I'm making home to mother's, and till the day Tuesday next, and be buried on Thursday. And of course I'm prepared to meet my penance, but the one thing I'm perplexed, and its father is the jewel of a horse. He was never bought nor paid for, and there's not a man can swear to his owner or his breeder, but I know that his sire was the Paterson from the old Pretender mare, and his dame in the close related to the roe. And there's nothing in the district that can race him for the step. And then the canter while they're going to their top, he's the king of all the leapers, and that was ever seen to leap. 5-foot fence he cleared it at the hop. So I leave him with you, Father, till the deed shall rise again. 'Tis yourself to know the good, and of course you the save that he's got the moonlight out of Paddy's Murphy's plain. If you ever ask the breeding of the horse. But it's getting on the daylight, and the time is to say goodbye. The stars above the east are growing pale, and I'm making home to mother, and it's hard for me to die. And it's harder still to keep out of jail and can ride the old horse over to the grave across the dip, where the water bloom and a waving overhead. Sure to jump the fence is easy, must never raise the whip, or he'll rush 'em. Now goodbye, and he had fled. So they buried Andy Reagan, and buried him to rights. In the graveyard that was back of King's Hill, there was 25 mourners, with the 25 fights, till the ever boldest fighters in their fill, and the 50 horses racing from the graveyard to the pub, and the riders flogged each other all the while, and the lashings of the liquor and the lavings of the grub, or poor Andy went to rest in a proper style. Then the races came to Killy's, and then the steep chase and all, and the folk with the mostly Irish round about, and it takes the Irish rider to be fearless of fall. They were training in morning and the morning out, and they never started training till the sun was all on the course. Of the superstitious story kept them back, that the ghost of Andy Reagan and the slashing chestnut horse had been training by the starlight on the track, and they read the nominations of the races with surprise, the amusement at the father's little joke, for the novice had they entered in the steeple-chasing prize, that they found it was Father Riley's moke. And then the knee enough in gallop, he was strong enough to stay, and his owner's views of the training were immense, for the Reverend Father Riley used to ride him every day, and he never saw a hurdle nor a fence. And the priest would join the laughter. Oh, said he, I put him in for 25 sovereigns to be won, and the poor would find him useful if the chestnut chanced to win. He'll maybe win when all is said and done. He had called the fabula, which is a French for clear the course, and his colors had a vivid shade of green, while the doles of Donald's with a Father Riley's horse, while the Orangemen were backing Brandon, was the Hogan and the dog poisoner, aged man and very wise, who was camping the race course with a swag, and who ventured in the opinion, to the township's great surprise, that the race would go to Father Riley's nag. You could talk about your riders, and the horses has not been schooled, and the fence is terrific, and the rest. When the field is fairly going, and ye see you'll be fooled, and the chestnut horse will bathe with the best. For these some has got condition that they think that the race is sure, and the chestnut horse will fall beneath the weight, but the hopes of all the helpless and the prayers of all the poor will be running on this side to keep him straight, that the needs of schooling and the working on the track. When the saints are on the guide him around the course, they prayed I'm over every fence, I prayed him out and back, and I bet my cash on Father Riley's horse. Oh, the steeple was a caution. They went tearing around the round, and the fences rang and rattled where they struck. There was some that cleared the water, and there was more fell in than drowned. Some blamed the men, and others blamed the luck, but the whips were flying freely when the field came into view of the finish down long green stretch of course, and in front of all the flyers jumping like kangaroo came the rank outsider, Father Riley's horse. Oh, the shouting and the cheering! He rattled past the post, and for he left the others standing in the straight, and the rider they reckoned was Andy Regan's ghost, and he bet him how the ghost would draw the weight, but that he weighed in 90 stone 7, and then he laughed and disappeared like a banshee, which is Spanish for an elf. And the old Hogan muttered sagely, if he wasn't for a beard, he'd think that it was Andy Regan's self. And the poor Kylie's cross drank to the health of the Christmastide, and the chestnut and his rider dressed in green. There was never such a rider, not since Andy Regan died, and they wondered who on earth he could have been. But they settled in among, and the story got about, amongst the bushmen and the people on the course, that the devil had been ordered to let Andy Regan out for the steeplechase on Father Riley's horse. And that concludes our tale, Father Riley's Horse, by Banjo Paterson. If you like this content and like to support it, please head on over to Patreon. That is www.patreon.com/shortstoryscene.